Hello guys, my name is Babatunde Arolo. Welcome to the Harvard Lab, and today we're going to be talking about finding the absolute value of a number. So this kind of question is just asking us how far does it take a particular number to get to zero, right? So we're going to ask ourselves how far will it take, like let's say we're working with two. How far will it take two to get to zero, right? And for two to get to zero, it has to cross two and one, right? So it has to be from two one, right? So we know it's like two steps for it to get to zero, right? So it's the same thing as any other number. Let's say five. For five can get to zero, it has to go from five to four to three to two to one, right? So that's five steps. So just count the steps it takes, right? It's the same thing for negative numbers also. So whenever we're dealing with negative numbers, the only difference is we're gonna start from the bigger number to the smaller number. So it goes, let's say we're looking for a negative three, for example, right? We start from negative three to negative two to negative one to zero, right? So it has three steps in that case, right? So basically, what I want to do in this kind of question is, it's really not that hard. All I want to do is I just want to remove like I always want to make it a positive. I always want to make the evaluation of everything, right? So after I count everything, I would just want to make it a positive because you can't count a negative number, right? You can't count something negative, right? So you're gonna have to count, like it has to be 14 steps, right? Okay, so let's look at this case. This is minus 14, right? And because of that, based on what I just said, is just putting in the same number. You just put in the same number and then you remove the minus. That's all. Right? So it's always know that whenever you have something in this, is always going to be a positive, right? Because we're working with counting the amount of steps that it takes. It can't go back. The steps can't go from zero to minus something, right? The steps can only go forward. You're just counting the steps, which means you're adding each of the steps. So when you add for okay, let's say for minus 14 to get to zero, we have to say minus 14. What's say minus 14, minus 13, minus 12, minus 11, minus 10, minus 9, minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, and minus 1. That's 14 steps, right? So if you count it all together before it gets to zero, it's going to be 14 steps, right? So basically, that's all you have to do. So all you have to do is you just remove the negative in this case and just put 14. That's all. And so that's the same thing for here. This one, you don't change the sign since it's already plus 11, right? We know before 11 can get to zero, it has to count from 11. It has to count 11 times, right? So it will be from 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So that's going to be 11 steps, right? Because we'll take it 11, you have to count 11 times before it gets to zero, right? So all you have to just put in 11. Let's check that out. Yeah. So let's go for more practice. Yeah, and so based on what as I just said in the previous video, you can just try to test your knowledge on this, and yeah, okay, let's go for this. This is telling us to find absolute value of 12, right? So we're gonna have to find how many steps it takes for 12 to get to zero, right? So you have to count 12 downwards in this case. It's 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So if you count each step, this is one, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth, the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10, 11, 12, right? So it takes 12 steps for 12 to get to zero. That's going to be 12, right? And so this minus 6, from minus 6 to get to zero, basically, we're going to have to count the amount of steps it takes from minus 6 to get to zero. That would be minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. That's it, right? So if you count each steps, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah. So we'll put in 6 because that's the amount of steps it takes. Yeah. So it's really not that hard. One thing I would just say is you can just put in the same number that's inside the lines. It's gonna give you the same thing. But whenever you see a minus in it, you're gonna have to change it to a plus, right? So you're gonna have to just whenever I say minus in between these two lines, you're gonna have to turn it to a positive number in here, right? So that's what we did here for minus 6, change it to 6. But yeah, this is the concept of getting an absolute value of a number. And thank you very much for watching the video. And I really hope it helped you out. Have a nice day.